So a couple of weeks ago, Greenworks sent me a drill and driver combo to do a review on, and that's what we're going to do today. So I've already had this on the job site for a couple of weeks, so I took this out, and so for the last couple of weeks I've been beating the crap out of it. It doesn't look too much worse for the wear, but we've had it on a few jobs, and I thought I'd compare it to this DeWalt here because they're about similar size. This is the DeWalt Atomic Series Compact and just the standard Greenworks. What's kind of a shame is that they sent it with only 2 amp hour batteries. And I know some of these drills seem to perform better when you put the larger batteries in them. I picked a dense 2x4. So they both managed to get through there. A little bit of trouble on my part. So we're going to see how this thing drives. Got it in there at about the same amount of time, I think. Here's something people don't talk about much anymore, is driving screws with the drill. I got a timber screw. Let's see how fast we can get the timber screw in. Now we're going to try a timber screw. All right, that stopped it right there. See if we can get it all the way in. So the Atomic DeWalt does have more torque. This drill seems to be a pretty good drill. Now I compared it with the DeWalt, and DeWalt Atomic's supposed to be like a real compact version of high power, right? Well, this, as you saw in the test, kept up with it. Power-wise, it was a little slower on the driving part of it. Maybe some guys do, I certainly don't. You know, when I'm driving screws, I just grab a drill and I just go. You know, it's not like I'm going, hey, this thing's like, you know, a fraction of a second slower, it seems, than the drill I had before. As I've mentioned in the past, I don't treat my tools very nicely. And I was not nice to this tool either. The battery life seemed to be pretty good, and I would say it's pretty well comparable to the 2 amp battery in the DeWalt. It lasted me all day, let's put it that way, of just putting 3-inch screws in, which is mostly what I do with these anyways. Every now and then we'll go something a little bigger, you know, I'll put some timber screws in or maybe a lag, but you know, honestly, if I go with lag screws like this, I'll generally go with my bigger 1/2-inch drive impact. You know, we drove some 4-inch screws in, and those all did pretty good as well. Greenworks claims to have 1,850 inch-pounds. They've got a light here up front, as opposed to the 3 lights that's around the chuck. I tend to kind of like this one a little bit better, you know, with the 3 lights. It seems to illuminate around the head of the screw a little bit better. This one is certainly sufficient for most things. I mean, there's not a whole lot of circumstances I'm going to run into where this is not going to help out. You know, you get into a dark corner or something. You know, and to be truthful, when these lights first came out, I thought they were kind of gimmicky. I thought, oh, light, what? You know? But then immediately, upon using it, I found the use, you know, how useful these things actually became. So yeah, they both come with the belt hook. You know, if a drill like this didn't have a belt hook, I would consider that a deal breaker. The batteries seem to be pretty durable. Time will tell. Consider this a part 1 video because I do count on making multiple part video. Probably a year from now, you're going to be hearing from me again, and I'll give you a 1 year update on this thing. But so far, it's held up with me on the job for 2 weeks. So I would say so far so good. The drill I haven't used as much as the driver. It seems pretty basic. The clutch system, you know, I don't know. I never use them. Maybe some guys do. All the drills now seem to come standard with these clutch systems. The high and low works just fine. You know, I demonstrated that it was able to drive some screws in just fine. It bogged down on the timber screw, whereas the DeWalt didn't seem to bog down so much. It had definitely, the DeWalt has definitely more torque, but that would be expected with something that was a lot higher end and you're paying a lot more for it. These guys have been at the game a lot longer than Greenworks, which is honestly which is why I'm kind of impressed. You know, I would be more likely to compare these with something like Ryobi, but the fact of the matter is I think they were way ahead of Ryobi, because Ryobi started out with like really cheapo built homeowner grade tools, which they still sort of have that reputation for, whereas Greenworks went straight for the industrial market. I think that's what they're shooting for, because they patterned this and matched it so closely to the DeWalt in size. In fact, I would even submit that this Greenworks is even smaller than the DeWalt. Same height, a little narrower. Width-wise, about the same. As you can see, I didn't really notice a power difference. The chuck, to me, it's just, it could be a little bigger, but that's very minor in my opinion. Things like that don't seem to bother me much, as long as it's easy to manipulate and put the tool in and out. The fanciness part does not really impress me that much. You know, they've got rubber bumpers where rubber bumpers need to be. Like if I were on a roof and I was to lay this tool flat and had this hard plastic touching the roof, it would be more apt to slide down the roof than if it had this soft rubber that could be more grippy, you know, where it would grab a hold and it wouldn't have the tendency to slide off of a roof. DeWalt has also managed to do that. They've supplied the soft rubber where it needs to be on all the contact surfaces. And lastly, I feel like the construction of this thing is durable enough where it's going to hold up pretty well, especially with me, which, as you know, I'm not easy on tools. And it's this very simple, you know, the very ubiquitous hard plastic that you find in almost all of the cordless power tools. I've already thrown this thing around and kicked it, not intentionally, it's just how I work. I get worked up into, you know, I'm high energy. I get on the job site and I just want to get the job done, and I'll step on tools accidentally. I'll drop them off of ladders, and I'll even kick them across the room if they're in my way, and I'm stepping on them and they're underfoot, and so I'm not easy on stuff, and you know, I use them for hammers occasionally. You'll see me do that, and I just generally just beat the living daylights out of these things. And so you know, if they can survive the environment that I put them in, they'll survive anything. And so far so good. You know, not so much as a scuff on this thing after 2 weeks. So I would say this thing is held up pretty well. But the best part of this thing is I have an affiliate link down below that Greenworks has provided me with, where you guys can click onto it and be able to purchase the kit for a discount price. And I don't get any money from that. You know, they've just given me these tools free to keep. The review could have gone either way. There's no incentive for me to really give it, you know, a raving review. But out of a 1 through 10, I would say it's at least a 9 in my book for the impact driver, and I would say about an 8 for the drill, you know, in comparison wise. But you know, that's misleading too, because I don't even think I would give the DeWalt impact driver a 10, all right? Because there's some things that irritate me about DeWalt as well, and about Makita and about Milwaukee, and I could go on and on. But so this thing rates pretty high in my book, power-wise, compact-wise, durability-wise, it's all there. We're gonna find out for sure in 1 year. But this is kind of a, you know, to me, the way these guys have started off, their prices they're very affordable. You can purchase a set of these things for less than you can the standard DeWalt kit, or you know, Milwaukee or Makita, and they rate right up in there as far as power and durability. Here's last but not least, this is the charger. I don't know whether to love it or hate it. It's about as compact as a charger can be. In fact, it's even smaller than the battery itself. It plugs right in like so, and it's got you know, this other end of the plug in and this long thin cord, low voltage cord that you know, like I said, I don't know if I like it or hate it. It's going to take some time for me to kind of, you know, once this gets kicked around in the back of the truck for a while, is this little cord going to break, you know, or what? But you know, the thing of it is they do sell the regular size chargers as well, so don't despair. They're out there. This is a great item for around the house. It's ultra compact, but it does take a while to charge the battery. I noticed about an hour is what I noticed. And last but not least, guys, I hope I've earned your subscription. If you would, you know, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like tool reviews, Off Grid 406 is the name of my channel, and you name it, anything that's got to do with off-grid living, that's what we do here. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.